Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Got about a quarter inch of rain yesterday. It ain't enough rain to really get everything going, but maybe, realistically, for me to get seed germination, I would be looking at more for about half an inch of rain. But a quarter inch is what we got, so it is what it is. Here, the rain chances that were happening this week, they're kind of, we got about a 60% chance of it raining on Saturday. So maybe that's when the rain will pick up a little bit. Yep, a quarter inch of rain, it ain't really enough to even push the fertilizer through the soil. And so, yep. But I mean, it is what it is. That's what we got. So I got these cattle on grain. As of right now, when I look at my financials for this business, because I'm running this farm, I have made an astronomical sum of money this year. This farm is producing a tremendous source of income for me. This farm, yeah. Okay, so if I sell these, when I sell these animals this year, all of the income that I make on these animals will be filed for my taxes this year. I deducted them last year, so all my income will be filed this year. Right now, I'm in a situation where I need to invest about $80,000. So my whole big thing about taxes is that on my income tax, if I file enough tax deductions to even just drop me into the bottom tax bracket, that's fine by me. I may owe a few $100s. Like I owed a few $100s in taxes this year for federal income tax. I did pay a few $100s, like $700 or something like that. And so I wasn't able to get my taxes to zero, but as close to zero as possible is the name of the game. When I take these animals to market and I make money on these animals, because of technicalities of me having written them off of my taxes last year, it's going to look like I made a tremendous sum of money this year. My income this year is going to be over 100 grand because of this farm. And I need to invest about $80,000 to okay, so here's my situation. Okay, let's say I go to a bank, right, and I get a loan for 40 grand. I get a loan for 0% interest on I get a loan for $40,000 on 0% interest, right? And I take that loan and I buy animals with it. So boom, $40,000 gone. Well, when I'm farming like this and I'm making like $100,000, $120,000 a year because of this farm, I need to invest, not because of this farm, because of technicalities on my taxes of me. I wrote these animals on my tax off of my taxes last year, so the animals that I make on the money that I make on the animals this year will show up on my income this year. All of it will show up on my income this year. And so I need to invest about $80,000, or I need to pay about 30% of that in taxes, a third of that in taxes. So I'll legitimately, if I didn't invest anything, I could end up owing like 30 grand, $25,000 in taxes. Realistically, owe about $25,000 in taxes. And so in my head, it's like, would I rather invest the 80,000 or would I rather just pay the 25,000 in taxes? And for me personally, I would rather invest the 80,000. And so everything that I buy right now is about 30% discount. I get about a 1/3 of a discount on it, about 33% discount on it. And so, whatever needs to happen, I just do it. Because these animals, let's say I write half of my taxes off, right? When I take these animals to market and my credit goes high, I go to the bank and I get a loan for 40 grand and I buy 40 grand worth of number one animals, some number one lightweight animals, and I write the $40,000 off of my taxes. Well, I still have an income of about about $60,000. I would say my income this year is going to be about 100 to 120 grand. When I sell these animals, and if I sell a second lot of animals, my income will be my plan after this is to start pushing these animals a little bit harder on a 3 to 4 month program, and just, you know, put them on a 90 to 120 day program, push them real hard, and take a lightweight 3.5 weight animal to 5.5 weight and take them back to market. And so if I do get a second lot of animals here this year, my income is going to be like 100 to 120 grand. I'm going to have made an astronomical sum of money on these cattle. And if I don't invest that money, I'll have to pay a third of that in taxes. And so if I make 120 grand, if I make $120,000, right, and up to about 35,000, so about up to about so 35,000 is when I drop a tax bracket, just about 35,000. So I'll have to invest about $85,000 to drop my income to 35 grand. And if I don't invest my money and I just sit on the money, I don't get to keep it. You know, saving money is well, there are ways to save money. Like, I save money on my taxes, right? I don't save money by holding on to cash. That's the most difficult way to save money, is to hold on to cash. I save money through the equity in my property. Every time I make a mortgage payment, I save some equity in my property. You know, when I invest my money and I get a tax refund, I save money on my taxes. You know, when I run a farm and I don't have to pay property tax, I save money on my property taxes. When I run a farm and I don't have to pay sales tax on the stuff that I need for this farm, I save money on sales taxes. So there is a way to save money. Saving money, though, there are different ways to doing it. And you know, and me, like, I'm in a situation right now when I look at the rough outline of my numbers, because, you know, I look at my farm every day. I literally, every single morning and every single evening, I come out here and I take a good look at everything that's going on. And so I have a rough idea at all times of what's happening on my farm. And so I'm right now, I'm in a situation where I need to invest about $80,000 this year into these cattle, or into my farm, or I need to pay about a third of that in taxes. I'm going to owe about $25,000 in taxes. And so if I don't invest it, I have to pay taxes. And if I do invest it, I get to essentially save money through the equity on my farm, because I get to raise a larger herd of animals, and I get to you know, put more into these animals. So as of right now, until I have invested $85,000, everything is 1/3 discount. Because it ain't like it's not like taxes are optional. I have to pay those taxes if I don't invest this money. So as of today, everything, 100% of everything that I buy for these cattle that I invest, my accountant told me what I am able to deduct on my taxes in terms of livestock. Anything that I buy in terms of that list, 1/3 discount, everything. And so, and I don't even, okay, if I spend if I invest $40,000, right, into buying new animals, there is zero way that I'm going to spend $40,000 on feed. There is, you know, if I spend $40,000 on feed, that would be like I don't even know how much feed that's going to be. And so I need to figure out different ways of what can I invest into to reduce my taxes, because I'm about to owe a lot. You know, not about to. I have about 7 months to figure this out, and so I need to keep investing this money. I need to keep investing this money, or I'm gonna have to pay a lot of money in taxes. And I knew it was gonna happen when I wrote these animals off of my taxes last year. I knew that I was gonna be in this situation, and well, I've got about half of the puzzle figured out. About half of the money, about the $40,000, I'm going to take a loan from the bank. More than likely, I'm going to take a loan from a different bank than the bank that I went to this time. And I'm going to take $40,000 in loans to buy a set of number 1 animals. When these animals go to market, And then I still got to figure out how I'm gonna invest about $40,000 because I ran a trial on these animals yesterday. I gave them as much feed as they would willingly eat, and they ate about 350 pounds of feed. So at 350 pounds of feed, they stopped eating the feed. And even if I fed them 350 pounds of feed every day for the entire month, all year, it wouldn't even get close to $40,000. Not even close. Like it wouldn't even, maybe half. Not even half. Because a ton of feed, I pay $460 for a ton of feed. And so I need to do about 350 times what? 350 times like 5 or 6 is 1 ton. And so if these animals ate if they ate 1 ton of feed for a day, or excuse me, if they ate 1 ton of feed a week for a month straight, I would actually end up spending about half of the money that I need to invest. And so they'd probably eat about $25,000 worth of feed, but I still need to invest another $16,000. I guess when I look at it like that, it don't seem like that big of a challenge anymore, But the big thing is that I don't need any more equipment. All of the equipment that I bought, that's all the equipment that I need to operate this farm. Realistically, a 10-acre farm, I can run a 10-acre farm with a $5,000 tractor and a $500 sprayer. If that's all I had, and then I had a $1,000 grain drill, I could run this I could run a 10-acre farm, zero problem. Realistically, like if I was going to start a 10-acre farm, it maybe cost me about $7,000. I don't need any more equipment. And if I bought any more equipment, it would just become yard art. And I don't want a whole bunch of yard art everywhere. And so, yep. But these animals, they're not going to eat 1 ton of feed a month for the next month straight. Eventually, I will get some rain. And when I get the rain, I won't need to feed these animals like this anymore. And the thing about it is, okay, when I start growing grass here, every time I get a flush of grass here on this farm, my profits go astronomical. The amount of feed these animals eat, they will hardly eat any feed. They will put on a lot of weight, and it only costs me about $600 to put enough fertilizer on 10 acres to grow a real good stand of grass. And so, I put about $600 into the grass, and it will grow an unlimited amount of grass for these animals to eat. And so every time I get a flush of grass, my profits go astronomical. And so the idea that I'll be feeding these animals a ton of feed a week for the entire year is not going to happen. It's already been 5 months, and these animals have been on like 90% grass for the last 5 months, and we're already about halfway through the year. And so the chances of me investing all the money that I need to invest by purchasing feed for these animals is there's no way, zero chance. And so right now I'm in a situation where with these cattle and everything, well, because of these cattle, I'm making way too much money, and I need to invest it. And the money that I'm making, I get a lot of tax benefits too. And so I want to keep this farm going like it is, because I want the tax benefits. The tax benefits alone are like $15,000-$20,000 a year. And so I want to keep the tax benefits. Definitely want to keep the tax benefits. And but if I keep things going the way they are, if I ever stop doing this, I'll owe a lot of money in taxes, like $30,000, $25,000 in taxes. And so, making money, it ain't easy. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of planning, and it takes a lot of doing too. I literally I'm gonna just be completely honest. I work just over 100 hours a week. Because I have to constantly, either I'm here or I'm working at my job. So Yep, but I mean, but the money's good. The money's good, and I feel like I'm doing a good job. And, I always say one of my big golden rules in my life is never say anything negative about oneself. I think that a lot of people, they super negative about themselves. I mean, like if they really listen to the voice in their head, they always talking negative about themselves. But when they do something good, they just kind of overlook it immediately. They just overlook it and go immediately thinking bad about themselves. And so one of my golden rules in life is that I never, ever think anything poorly about myself. If I do something good, I tell myself what I did repeatedly. Oh man, I made $15,000 just in taxes alone on this farm. Some people, they're gonna go, oh my God, what are you gonna do with $15,000? $15,000, that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But me, I don't think like that at all. If I made 15 grand, I tell myself, hey man, I am doing extremely well. Extremely well. I made 15 grand. My grass is 3 feet tall. But my grass has the leaves on my grass are 2 inches wide. Everything. Anything that I repeatedly tell myself the good things that I do about the good things. I don't ever negatively think about myself. I don't sit around and go, you know what I'm saying, like this, that, and speak. I don't ever think negatively about myself. It's because that ain't good. The little voice inside one's head is a huge driving factor in what gets accomplished in real life. And so if I do anything successful, I remind myself of my successes constantly. Man, I raised 32 animals. Oh man, I didn't have any animals die in the last 7 months. Oh man, I made $15,000-$20,000 on my taxes. Oh man, if I didn't make that money on my taxes, I would have had to write a big check right now. I'll just constantly tell myself good things about myself. That's one of my golden rules in life. If someone asked me $1 million, or someone offered me $1 million right now, I couldn't say a bad thing about myself at all, ever. But that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.